Welcome to Brave Voice English. Listen, read, and learn English with short stories. Don't forget to subscribe. Let's begin.
The Gift of Time. The old clock sat on the mantelpiece like a silent sentinel in the living room of the little house on Maple Street. Its wooden frame was carved with delicate patterns, worn smooth by time and touch. 4 years, it had kept steady time, its hands sweeping faithfully across the face, marking the rhythm of everyday life for the family who lived there. But now, the clock was broken. The hands no longer moved, and the familiar ticking sound that once filled the room had fallen silent. Evelyn, a young woman of 25, looked up at the clock as she entered the room. Her eyes, filled with a mixture of sadness and hope, rested on the stopped timepiece. It was a symbol of everything she felt inside, paused, uncertain, frozen in a moment she longed to move beyond. Her grandmother, whom she called Nana, had owned the clock before her. Nana had passed away just a few weeks ago, leaving Evelyn alone in the old house. The clock had been Nana's pride, a gift from her late husband on their wedding day, and a reminder of all the moments they had shared. Evelyn set down the small box she was carrying and sat down on the worn armchair near the fireplace. The room was filled with the scent of old books and fading memories. She took a deep breath and reached into the box, pulling out a faded photograph. It was Nana and grandfather, smiling broadly on their wedding day, standing beside the very clock that now sat silent. She wondered how many stories the clock had witnessed: birthdays, holidays, quiet afternoons, tears, laughter, and endless conversations. It was more than just a clock, it was a keeper of memories, a guardian of time itself. But now, it was broken. Evelyn's fingers traced the edge of the clock's face, feeling the cool glass and the smooth wood. She remembered how Nana would wind the clock every week, her delicate hands turning the key with care. The ticking sound was like a heartbeat, steady and reassuring. Determined to fix the clock, Evelyn decided to visit Mr. Harrison, the town's clockmaker. He was an old man, known for his skill in repairing even the most stubborn and ancient timepieces. The next morning, Evelyn wrapped the clock carefully in a soft cloth and set out toward the little shop at the end of Main Street. The sun was bright, and the air was filled with the fresh scent of spring. Birds sang cheerfully as she walked, but her mind was heavy with thoughts of Nana and the broken clock. When she arrived, the shop was just as she remembered from her childhood: a small, cluttered room filled with clocks of all shapes and sizes. Some hung on the walls, ticking softly, while others sat on shelves, waiting to be repaired. Mr. Harrison looked up from his workbench and smiled warmly. "Evelyn, isn't it? What brings you here today?" "I need your help with this clock," she said, carefully unwrapping it and setting it on the counter. The old clockmaker adjusted his spectacles and examined the clock closely. "Ah, this is a fine piece. Looks like it hasn't moved in a while. Let me see what I can do." 4 hours, Mr. Harrison worked, opening the back of the clock, examining its gears and springs, cleaning and oiling with great care. Evelyn watched quietly, feeling a mixture of hope and nervousness. Finally, with a soft click, the clock began to tick again. The hands moved slowly, steadily, marking the passage of time once more. Evelyn smiled, tears welling in her eyes. "Thank you, Mr. Harrison. You don't know how much this means to me." He nodded kindly. Clocks are like people, sometimes they need a little care to keep going. But with love and patience, time can always be mended. When Evelyn returned home, she placed the clock back on the mantelpiece. The steady ticking filled the room, bringing a sense of peace and continuity. Days passed, and the house slowly felt less empty. The clock's rhythm became a comforting presence, a reminder that even though some things break, they can be fixed with time and care. One afternoon, while cleaning Nana's old things, Evelyn found a small journal tucked inside a drawer. The pages were filled with Nana's handwriting, stories, memories, and reflections on life. In one entry, Nana wrote about the clock, calling it the heart of our home. She described how it had witnessed the family's joys and sorrows, always marking the moments that mattered most. Evelyn realized that the broken clock was more than a piece of wood and metal, it was a symbol of love, resilience, and the passage of life itself. She decided to keep the clock running, not just as a timekeeper but as a tribute to Nana and the memories they shared. As the seasons changed, the ticking clock was a steady companion through lonely nights and hopeful mornings. It reminded Evelyn that time moves forward, bringing healing and new beginnings. And though the clock had once been broken, it was now whole again, just like her heart.